Welcome to WKRP Montrose, a radio station masquerading as a podcast about Montrose, Colorado and the Western Slope, recording live from the Clearnetworx studio in downtown Montrose, Colorado. All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of WKRP. Well,
sort of.
Not really.
No.
Not exactly. Not exactly how you guys are used to it.
Yeah.
Those out there in the ether of watching. But the people that actually get to see this, they're going to have no idea what's going on.
No. David has no idea what's going on.
Yeah. Well, so you've already ruined it.
Yeah.
You just announced who the guest is.
That's okay.
They'll get over it.
Yeah.
Maybe there's more than one David.
Yeah. Well, so if any of our regular watchers or listeners are seeing this, you'll notice that the very nice sign above David's head there is an indicator of what we're doing today.
Well, David's not on the camera yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is how we do it.
Yeah. It's not professional.
This is not professional.
Right. So what are we doing?
Well, we've partnered with Clearnetworx. They're our studio sponsor.
Yeah.
And we have agreed to kind of do some mini WKRP episodes for the company so that their staff members can get to know each other a little bit more. So in the same vein as WKRP, we know real people. We want Clearnetworx have asked us to help them get to know each other.
So as the old guy in the group, kind of like an actors guild, we're going to put some people on the couch. We're going to ask them some questions. We're going to get to know them a little bit better.
Yeah, they're brief, but there'll be enough to get a little insight into each other, so that hopefully it fosters a more harmonious working environment.
All right, we're going to do this every time.
Yep.
Every time before we start.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, in that case, why don't you go ahead and introduce our guests, and I will bring them up here.
So today we have David Sneesby.
David, welcome to Clearnetworx.
Yeah.
But you've already been with Clearnetworx for a while. How long have you been with Clearnetworx?
Almost 4 years.
4 years?
In May.
All right. How did you end up at Clearnetworx?
So I went to college in Gunnison, and so I knew the area and wanted to stay on the Western Slope. So just started looking around for jobs after college and kind of got lucky. They had, recently got rid of their GIS specialists, and so I kind of filled those shoes. And yeah, here we are, almost 4 years later.
Well, that leads me very nicely into the next question, which is, what's a GIS specialist?
Sure. So GIS stands for Geographic Information Systems, and it's basically a software or a set of softwares that are used to keep digital maps. And in our case, we're keeping maps of the fiber infrastructure.
So where all the good stuff is.
Right.
Yep.
So you're a treasure map maker.
For Clearnetworx.
I don't know about treasure. So, GIS is kind of a tricky thing to explain, and a lot of times you'll be at weddings or social events and people will ask you what you do. So to keep it real simple, I tell people I work for a company that just buries stuff all over town, and I just remember where they buried it.
Everything that you say keeps leading me to pirates and buried treasure and
booty.
Yeah. Where is the booty?
Yeah.
So you're the guy that needs to know. You're surviving the movie because you've got all the information at the end, right?
Yeah, you could say that.
But you're essentially responsible for making sure that when Clearnetworx lay fiber, they lay it in the right place, or you tell them where they can and cannot lay it.
Well, sort of. I mean, I manage the systems that it's more like a tool, right? GIS is a hammer, and we've got lots of different people that use it in the company. Right. So we've got a design team that is proposing these routes, and they're saying, hey, we can put the fiber here. And I'm really just I'm supporting the tool that allows those guys to do that.
Right.
And then when the guys are actually out building it too, it's the kind of same deal. I support the tool that shares that data to the field. So the guys that are out there, actually digging and putting the fiber up on the poles, they can see where we've proposed the routes. And then once it's all complete, that's probably the most important piece is we map where we actually put it, and then keep that record for, long time, because obviously we've got to go back and maintain it. We've got to find it anytime somebody calls 811 and wants to dig a, a fence in their yard or whatever. So yeah, those are the main functions. And like I said, I'm really just supporting the tool for other people in the company to use.
All right. Well, so you do have a deep understanding of the Earth. That's what the little bio says here that Rebecca sent over. You have a deep understanding of the Earth beneath our feet, both in the ground and through mapping, she said.
That's nice.
So, yeah, you can use that.
Are you going to update your LinkedIn profile with that if we give it to you?
Exactly.
Yeah, you're going with that. Well, but you've got multiple interests that would really necessitate needing mapping. You like aviation too. Do you fly? Mm-hmm. Are you a pilot?
No, not officially. I'm a student pilot.
Okay, but you're taking flight lessons.
Yep.
Okay. Where are you at in that process?
Maybe halfway.
Okay.
Yeah, getting there.
Any aspirations of like long term? Like, or is it just a
I
hobby?
really just want to like put my friends in a plane and go camping.
Oh, really?
I was going to say, because with all the stuff that's going on recently with Delta landing planes upside down, you might not necessarily want to be a commercial pilot. Yeah.
Who needs that pressure?
Yeah, no, it's a lot. It's intense.
So besides camping, besides aviation, you've got some other interests that are out there. What are some of your favorite things to do when you're not working for Clearnetworx?
I can tell you actually.
Oh,
Would you like me to?
No, I don't want to hear from you.
I want to know if
You're not even on
I
camera.
want to know if Rebecca's bio is accurate. That's all. Skiing,
Yep.
enduro. How about pursuing interests in computer science?
That's more of a professional interest, I would say.
Music, sports, and travel.
Yep.
Good job, Rebecca.
Yep. She nailed it.
Traveled anywhere that you would want people to know that you've been?
Recently I did Mexico City.
Oh,
which was a cool trip. So
what's on the bucket list for this year or next year?
I've got a bunch of stuff planned for this summer, just kind of around here. So, I got a trip coming up to Phoenix, and then I spent a lot of time in Wyoming and Utah, southern Idaho. Lots of road trips planned. Nothing big planned right now, though.
What about a little closer to home? What do you do if you need to escape for the weekend around here?
Ooh, don't hey, hold on a second.
What?
Don't give up your secret spots, man.
Oh, you don't have to be specific.
Don't let this guy pressure you into anything.
Yeah, I have a map for that, don't worry.
No doubt.
He nailed it.
Yeah.
He nailed it.
Yeah.
All right, so any place that you think, where do you send everybody else that wants to go camping if they're not with you?
Oh, man. Probably just somewhere basic, Ridgeway State Park or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't let on to where you go. You're like, no, it's fine. You go to Ridgeway State, which is very nice, by the way. Anyway, I love Ridgeway State Park. I drove past recently, and half of it was frozen and half wasn't.
Yeah, you don't strike me as the roughing it type.
I used to be.
Yeah, nobody believes that. All right.
I like glamping now.
So I'm gonna Sneesby. That's a pretty unique last name. Sneesby. Okay. See, I said it wrong too.
Easy for you to say or not.
Or not. Get it right.
Case may be.
What's the background on the name? Like, where is that from?
My dad's name.
Yeah. Is it? Do you know where the family's from? Have you done any 23 or Me or any of that?
Someone told me a long time ago. I want to say it was English.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. I'm going to ask the obvious question. I may make work life tougher for you, but were there any nicknames growing up? Any that you liked?
It's typically just Sneesby.
Yeah.
Just straight use the name.
Obvious, which is actually kind of convenient. We've got at least 3 Davids at the company, so if I hear David, I know they're not talking to me.
Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay. Is that kind of the protocol at work? Is it more last names than first names?
Only for some of us. I've got a common first name and an uncommon last name, so it's kind of the default.
Yeah, it's kind of pretty straightforward.
So, do you consider yourself on the staff? Are you the front side of the company, or are you the back side of the field side of the company? Let's call it that way.
Let's say field side, not back side.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if field side is valid either.
I just got them all wrong.
Yeah, dummy.
Yeah.
I support teams that are both in the office and in the field, but I would say I'm not customer facing.
Okay.
So I'd be on the back side in that sense.
Is that something you wouldn't want to do then? Dealing with the public?
Yeah.
There you go. Pretty straightforward answer.
Yeah. We've got lots of people that are really good at doing that.
Yeah.
And I just let them, do what they're good at.
Yeah. It's great. No.
You're at a loss for words.
No.
All right. So we have
dealing with the public sometimes. That's
is there? Hey, you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. Is there like dichotomy in the company? Is it the field side of the non-customer side versus the customer side? Is there any tension in Clearnetworx that we need to help me create some drama here?
Yeah.
Drama. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. There's 2 separate buildings.
Oh, yeah.
That, so there is a divide.
Yeah. Literally a divide between the buildings.
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of, and if you don't, maybe you should.
Yeah, we're trying to make it
like some kind of annual, field versus office, or
Ooh, is there a kickball game or like a softball?
Volleyball. I mean, I know the idea is to foster this harmonious relationship within the company, but it is much more fun to be a little divisive sometimes.
Everybody needs an adversary. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do that at the company? I mean, not officially, but in a jokey way. Do you think you're more important than the other departments?
No, absolutely not. I would say the most important, the most important people at the company, they're probably the guys out in the field that are digging. I would say, I can propose routes all day long, but they actually put it in the ground and make it worth something.
Do you ever have any of the guys come back to you and say, hey, you know that place you sent us to dig? Yeah, that was kind of stupid.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Why?
I love the honesty.
What do you do sometimes that niggles those guys?
There's so many factors. I mean, we've gotten a lot better for sure, but when I first started, design was kind of a new thing. Back in the day, I hope Doug doesn't get mad at me for this, but I'm pretty sure that he used to just kind of point out in the field and he'd say, oh, let's dig, over here and then maybe take a left up there. Since then, we've moved on to, doing everything on the map. And so we've learned a ton, and it was tricky at first because we didn't necessarily have the construction guys, that construction experience that was actually drawing the lines. And so sometimes you would end up with stuff where, we proposed a line and it was on the same side of the road as the gas line.
Ooh.
And the construction guys are like, hey, why are we dealing with this gas line the entire time? We could just move it to the other side of the road.
Did they always say it? It's,
that nicely, that politely?
As nicely as that?
No.
You don't have to name names. You can just say occasionally, yeah, I'll get you.
Well, here, I'm gonna let him off the hook here. I'm gonna cut to us real quick, and I'm gonna go to the camera. I can promise you that was a true statement. That at some point, Doug was out in the field and pointed and said, "We're gonna dig right over there."
Yeah.
So,
hit a gas line. Go, okay, we're going to cross the street.
You can blame that on me.
Yeah.
I definitely said that. All right. Well, Rob, I know you've got some questions that you want to get to. So we got some standardized questions that we want to ask everybody.
These interviews are brief, 15 minutes or so at the most, but we're going to end each one with a set of standard questions that typically are used on the show Inside the Actors Studio. So the idea is they're quick fire. Don't think about them too much. Just say what comes into your head. They can be one-word answers or whatever you like, but the idea is you don't have to overthink these questions, and they're really basic.
And you don't have to overthink it because he just over-explained it. So
exactly.
we're pretty ready. All right, Rob.
Quick-fire questions. You ready?
Here we go.
David Sneesby.
Yes.
What's your favorite word?
Oh, man. Uniformitarianism.
All right, I like it. What sound or noise do you love?
Gosh.
You're thinking.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Don't think.
Aloud, right? Sound or noise.
What's the first sound that came into your head when you heard that?
Not a particular sound, but just like the voice of a loved one.
Okay.
That's
Good
nice.
answer.
That's
Good
lovely.
answer.
What motivates you?
What motivates me?
Money, money, money. No, I'm saying.
Probably helping people, I would say.
Love it.
I like
my
it.
favorite part about my job is helping people.
What's your favorite food?
Gosh, I'm one of those guys that kind of just eats everything. I really don't have one specific food. And in fact, there's not really anything that I don't like.
What have you stolen out of the company refrigerator that wasn't yours?
Nothing.
No, we can't do that to him.
All right, my turn. My turn.
Oh, you want to do this one?
Yes,
all right,
absolutely.
Go on then, quickly.
Is hot dog a sandwich?
If the bun breaks on the bottom, then yes.
Okay.
It's not supposed to be.
All right.
All right. Next one. How many holes does a straw have?
Either 0 or 1.
Which one is it?
0.
All right.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt? Not commercial airline pilot, obviously.
No, it would be cool to be like a race car driver, though.
Okay.
What's a profession you would never want to do?
Cleaning out porta potties.
Yeah, that's a great one. 2 more questions. What's your guilty pleasure?
Sleeping in.
Yeah. Last question. This might be a tough one. Mm-hmm. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Welcome, I suppose.
I feel like that's going to be a universal answer.
Yeah. Actually, God's going to... He's going to say welcome.
Yeah.
And then he's going to say something about you. What do you want him to say about you? What would you want your legacy to be?
That I didn't screw anything up too badly to not make it.
There you go.
There we go.
That's a good one.
All right.
And with that...
ladies and gentlemen,
that's it. David
you
Sneesby.
have met David Sneesby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us, David. We appreciate it. Any parting words before we go?
No, I'd say it's cool what you guys are doing. I appreciate you working with the company and, you know, helping us out, get to know each other. It's going to be cool to see the people come on. But
you want to give a shout out or say something nice to one of your colleagues? Anyone in particular that's done anything nice for you recently?
Sure. Yeah, I want to shout out the design team. So David Duke, Chase Crotrude, Chris Bond, Jordan Deemers. Those guys are kind of my core group for you know, putting stuff on the map, and I think you guys do a fantastic job. I like working with you.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Awesome. All right. Here's a first episode of Clearnetworx.
Yep. The Clearnetworx WKRP minis, right?
Something WKRP minis. We're going to have to come up with a name. We'll do it by episode something.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll come up with something.
Yep.
All right, everybody. This has been the first episode. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.